Hi Leo, this is your reading for November 2018. Please set aside anything that you're doing so that you're not multitasking, and all of your attention is here with me for the reading. Take a few deep breaths, settle into a comfortable posture, and relax. Calm yourself down, release any tension or anxiety that you might be feeling by focusing on your breath. And as you come into a calm, centered space, reach out to your higher self and your guides. Ask them to connect with my higher self and my guides so that we can create a feedback loop to get really relevant and clear messages that are especially for you. Okay. Okay, Leo, let's see what's going on here. It looks like you have some changes this month, as have all the readings this month, actually. Everyone's been coming up with pretty major changes in their direction. You have the Wheel of Fortune here in the reverse position in the quadrant of your hopes and fears with the 10 of Swords. This right away says to me that there has been a change in direction, a change of luck potentially. I mean, I don't really like to use the word luck because I don't believe in it, but there seems like there's been a change in the direction of your the way things have been flowing for you, and there's an ending coming up that may or may not have been expected. Besides that, other cards in the reading mostly feel pretty positive. Like there's definitely some alignment towards a greater sense of well-being happening. I feel like on an energetic level, on the level of like the way that you're directing your energy into action, it seems to me like you're letting go of some kind of ways that you have been channeling your energy over the last couple of months, in which perhaps you've been feeling really frustrated and irritated by certain... it feels like there hasn't been like a really smooth flow of energy towards the projects and the activities that you've been wanting to kind of progress forward with, and that feels like that's been kind of frustrating. But it feels to me like now there is some type of change, and I feel like it's not a major change. It's not like there's much different on the outside that looks like there's any, like the rest of the world wouldn't know. Like it's something happening within you, like a small, like a tiny adjustment that you've made internally to kind of just simply drop the irritability and drop the frustration and approach the things that you want to move forward with a different frame of mind, with a more kind of a trusting kind of energy. And that positivity and that change of that really slight change of mind, that really change of mindset, is allowing for things to flow much better for you, and like freeing you up from a lot of irritability and frustration that you might have been feeling for several months, maybe even a lot of this year. So that's these 4 cards here at the bottom of the reading. So the 9 of Wands reversed with the Ace of Pentacles, and then the Eight of Wands upright with the 10 of Cups. That's kind of, these cards are all sort of basically the energy that I just described, where you may have been feeling some frustration and irritability around certain types of things that you've been trying to progress forward, and it has felt maybe frustrating for a large chunk of this year. But somehow during this time period, you're able to just kind of, it's almost like you just lean back into it and sort of just like talk yourself down off a ledge or something, and just kind of let yourself be at ease and at comfort with the pace that things are progressing, without feeling the need to try to make things happen faster than they're actually happening. And in doing so, you're kind of freeing yourself up from a lot of irritability that you might have been feeling because you thought that things weren't happening as fast as they should. And because you're able to do that, it's like it's some type of physical shift, you know. The Wands energy, the way I'm seeing this Nine of Wands, is like you trying to push for things to happen faster than they can or than they need to. And this change of energy, change of attitude during this time is helping you feel a lot more calm. But it's almost like you slow down but you speed up at the same time. It's a nice feeling, like when you finally realize how much of the dissonance that you're actually creating by your own impatience. That's what this is. You have been impatient about things, about certain things, and somehow the realization of that has clicked, and you have been able to just kind of lean back a little bit, relax into things, trust that the right timing is happening with everything, and as a result, things are actually feeling like they're speeding up. They're not actually. It's just you becoming in sync with things by actually just relaxing and trusting and becoming more patient. And the result is that you and your loved ones, the people around you, the people that you work with, but mostly your close inner circle, is going to feel like you're much more pleasant to be around because you've calmed down a little bit. You're activating more of your patient energy. And the result is that you're much happier because things feel like they're flowing better, even though they are actually. Things are flowing a lot better, but it's not like things are happening any faster. It's just that you have slowed down a bit and become more patient. What else is here? Interestingly, you have 2 cups here in the reading. The central card is called the Queen of Cups, and she's in reverse. The outcome card is the Queen of Swords, and she's upright. And then in this quadrant, this is in the position of the outcome. You have the Knight of Rods in reverse and the Knight of Cups in reverse. It's very interesting. These 2 characters have their backs to each other. The Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups crossed by the Strength card, which has another female kind of character expressed on her. And then the base card is the Emperor reversed. The recent past card here is the Devil in reverse as well. So let's get into this intersection here of cards and see what's going on. Well, what comes to mind here with the Devil reverse is that you may be coming out of some bad habits. Perhaps in the last couple of months, you've maybe started to kind of acknowledge some habits that you've been kind of letting run wild and just kind of like excusing away, just like letting yourself get away with some sort of bad behaviors. And I think that coming into the last part of this year, you're starting to wake up to the actual impact that those habits have been having. And you're making a turn for the better in your own life, and the effect on the relationships around you is that everything will improve. But I think first, before you go through that kind of upswing, I get the sense that there is some like emotional purge that you have to go through, because I think you're realizing that some of your habits, whether it's substance abuse or like passive aggressive behavior or some kind of like emotional energy throwing around, that you can, the ways in which perhaps you are interact with your closest people that you wouldn't do with the average person, where you reveal certain types of expressions of emotion in those really intimate relationships, where you kind of throwing anger in the wrong places or expressing the pain that you have around different issues that actually are your own, but you're kind of projecting them onto other people. I think you're starting to become a little bit more aware of some of that stuff. And the result is, as I said, before things start to feel really better, I think you're going to have to go through some emotional purging. And I think that's what the Queen of Cups is here at the center of the reading. And with that, I think there could also be some issues around the masculine. That's what this Emperor in reverse at the foundation is saying to me. I think there's some clarification to be done and some clearing, some healing to do around improper use of masculine energy, habits that were learned a parental figure or some type of authority figure where there's some inappropriate use of masculine energy. Maybe there's some kind of like, sometimes there might be some attempt to overpower people with a sort of domineering kind of energy, or it could be the other way too. There could be also a kind of a submissive energy. You know, like look at the strength card here. There's a bit of both. There's like someone being restrained and there's someone restraining. And I think it could be a bit of both at different times depending on which side of the fence you are, given any different opportunity or situation that you might be in. So some healing to do around masculine energy and coming back into balance emotionally after kind of realizing the effects of or simply the playing out of unconscious behaviors that you're now starting to clue into. And in becoming aware of these things, you're able to turn your whole life around by acknowledging the places where you're acting out of unconscious old pain that hasn't been resolved and unconscious patterns and behaviors learned from an imbalanced masculine figure. And the result coming into the final outcome or the effect of all of that work is that you come to a space that's more honest. You come into a place where you're more truthful, you're more clear. You have this Queen of Swords energy where it's like you have learned the benefits. You have learned and you are continuing to learn the benefit of honest communication, the healing effect that has, the clarifying effect that it has, the release that you get when you're honest from old energetic grids that kind of create scaffolding around you and around your heart, around your relationships, where it is that you actually are resisting and blocking the flow of love energy. So a very healing time for you, I think, Leo. I think you're resolving a lot of issues around, as I said, the masculine and the feminine too, like coming into a greater balance with your your fire and water elements, you know, the parts of you that are passionate and exuberant and willful are being tempered and balanced with the parts of you that are really sensitive and feeling and receptive. That's a very beautiful type of energy sensitivity to become more tuned into. So pay more attention to that and really nurture that kind of sense of awareness around those kinds of energies of like balancing your fiery, progressive, enthusiastic, willful energy with receptive and sensitive energies of like feeling energies, and balancing the two. Now we haven't really talked about this Knight of Rods and this Knight of Cups at the top of the reading here. Although it does kind of feel like much like what I was just describing there with regards to, you know, balancing masculine fiery energies with the feminine sensitive watery energies. But here, being that these are both knights, I would say that like coming through the cycle of this month and the net result or the potential outcome for you is that there could be, if you do this work and you really focus on these things this month, focus on, you know, the habits that you want to change, the habits that you've become aware of that have been impeding your progress, focusing more on patience, focusing on balancing the masculine and feminine within, putting a focus on receptivity, and coming into a space of like really honoring truth and speaking the truth and understanding how important that is for you, for your healing, to actually slice through a lot of old karma. The result is that I think you could potentially end a cycle of life where you've been experiencing a lot of repeating difficulties and come out of a space where you have been, you know, constantly feeling defensive. It's like your energy, you're constantly misusing your energy in a way that you're kind of always putting up this sort of defensive energy of like, you're not letting things in, you're not listening well, you're not letting light come in, you're constantly feeling like you need to defend your position. I think if you can tackle these things and really approach these things this month with a like determined honesty, with radical honesty, to actually be willing to kind of break through some of these old habits, the result is that you will have greater offers of love coming towards you, and just a greater sense of well-being, because you are putting in the work, putting in the effort to actually create more space in your life for love to come in. And I think putting to rest some old cycles is actually this Ten of Swords with the Wheel of Fortune here. I'm actually seeing this as a really positive potential energy for this month, where it is that I think if you focus on the things that you need to let go of, the habits that you need to let go of, the behaviors and the unconscious thoughts and ideas that you've been kind of running with over the course of your whole life, I think if you come into more of an awareness about these things this month and really put a concerted effort on breaking the cycle of these unconscious behaviors, you have a lot of potential this month to really break through. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. Priestess reversed, Nine of Pentacles reversed, the Temperance, and the Queen of Wands upright. So this is saying to me again that, like, there is work to be done this month, and it is a kind of like the High Priestess in reverse here with the Nine of Pentacles reversed. Both of these are saying to me that this is your opportunity to really go within and deeply access parts of your psyche that are hidden, like parts of your belief systems and structures that you have been kind of relying on in your life to express your personality, which now are no longer relevant, because that you've started to realize that they were simply defense mechanisms, and that what they really were doing was hiding places where you were actually feeling insecure and not really strong enough, or not really confident enough. That's what the Nine of Pentacles says. So the work is to kind of really be honest, Queen of Swords, about the places where you feel insecure, Nine of Pentacles reversed, and go deep into the unconscious, into the hidden, buried places in the psyche where you can uncover buried treasure, revealing the truth of the things that you believe to be the nature of your personality, which are in fact lies. And start to reveal the truth. Here, the devil is the one I was talking about with lies. So this is the dishonest part of you. I'm not picking on you here. This is just simply like, this is true for everyone. We all have beliefs that we hold that are deeply buried in our subconscious mind, that are the things that we believe to be true about ourselves. But actually they are structures that we have formed over life as a way of defending and protecting our energy and feeling like we have some kind of structure of ourselves. But for all of us through life, we all need to realize that slowly we need to dismantle all these things, because at a certain point, things that used to be true for us are no longer true, because we've evolved, we've raised our frequency to a different vibration, and that idea doesn't fit anymore. It becomes a dissonance in our personality or in our structure. So this is a time where you're starting to understand certain things, certain parts of your personality, certain aspects of your expression that once used to work for you, but now you're realizing that these are just defenses and they're holding you back. It's holding you back from really embodying a certain type of freedom. You want liberation from these things because they're not actually suited to the vibration that you're at right now. So you've got to let them go. You'll feel it anyway. You'll know where the dissonance is. You'll know where you're having places where you're being triggered with people. It's just using those opportunities to actually look inside you and see what it is that feels disturbed. And what is the root of it? Where is this coming from? And start to unpick that stuff. But it's important also with that kind of work not to get too caught up in the details, because at the end of the day, you can resolve a lot of stuff simply by just cutting through a lot of the baggage and the drama and just working on self-love. Whether or not you know where the places are, where those things came from. I'm not talking about having to, go back to trauma and relive pain of like experiences and memories of abuse and stuff like that. You don't need to do that. You can if you want to, if you feel like it's beneficial for you. But I'm saying don't get caught up in that stuff and don't get attached to it. Don't start to create even more things for you to unravel again later on in the future by getting attached to the experiences that you've had in the past, which kind of formed these personality traits that we're talking about. This is about just uncovering and releasing and resolving these things simply with awareness and with self-love. All of this is just about cultivating self-love, releasing yourself from these, triggers that make you feel defensive and make you feel like you need to hold back, or make you feel irritable or impatient. All these things. It's about just clearing the way. A lot of it is simply forgiveness, and that's what the Temperance has to offer here. I like to see the Queen of Wands here too, because this is actually the Strength. I didn't mention this, but the Strength card is your card actually, Leo. And with the Queen of Wands here coming out in the extended messages, I'm seeing this as you kind of actually rising up to meet the challenge. Like the Strength card as the crossing card in your reading is actually pointing you in the direction of where you need to go, which is basically just turning you more into yourself. And doing that means it's not about what you have to add, it's about what you have to take away. Right? So the Queen of Wands is saying to me that you have the inner authority, you have the inner knowing, and you have the ability to also be honest about that with the Queen of Swords here too. So the two queens here are giving me this, there are three queens in the reading now. So there's a lot of support for you on an emotional level from your own inner authority. That's what I'm getting here. Like you have a lot of resources within you to actually help you do this work. And ultimately, the success that you will feel, or the capacity you have to come through this with the greatest possible result, depends on you and how honest you're actually wanting to be about things. How willing are you to put down all this defensiveness and the drama? How willing are you to put an end to all this kind of what was true? Like, how willing are you to put that stuff down now and just be in a new you? It can literally happen that quickly if you want it to. What's this card here? Oh yeah, Temperance. Temperance is the key to it all, because as we said earlier in the reading, when I was talking more about kind of the mundane stuff that's going on from the day-to-day, you had this feeling of frustration and irritability and defensiveness and like things not happening as you want them to or whatever. Temperance is the key to everything, actually, in life. Like this, the energy of this card is the energy that we really all ought to be striving towards maintaining on a daily basis, because it's this energy of like calm. Look at the face. Just calm, neutral, at ease, relaxed, trusting. The triangle there over the heart chakra represents that kind of open-hearted, patient, loving, trusting energy. And this is a reminder to embody all of those things as much as possible every moment and stay open. The two cups there with the water passing between them just represents the openness and the ability to kind of maintain a flow of reciprocity, of universal energy that comes through you from the universe by maintaining this kind of frequency of calm, patient, trusting, loving composure. Because things happen, like we can experience a lot of joyful things, we can experience a lot of difficult things. No one's exempt from those extremes, right? But the capacity for ourselves to actually enjoy life and actually really experience joy on a frequent basis has everything to do with how we manage our reactions to things, right? Managing our reactions to things by maintaining a sense of composed, heightened sense of trusting, loving, joyful energy is what allows for us to feel good. I mean, it's up to us, right? Like we can feel as good as we want as much of the time, but external situations are actually, very little to do with how we feel. We are reacting. This is about managing our reactions. So, Leo, a lot of opportunity this month to really make some major breakthroughs is what I feel. I really like this reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to take your Voyager deck, the Voyager deck now, and do your higher octave reading. This will then give us a little bit more information of what's happening on a karmic level, on a spiritual level. Hopefully give us a little bit more information about how to manage these energies so that we can get the most out of what's happening this month. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle again now. While I do shuffle, please, again, just come back into a calm, centered space and close your eyes. Send your energy over towards me into the deck, and I will do my best to get really clear messages for you from your guides and from your higher self. Ten of Cups, Ace of Crystals, Ace of Worlds, Five of Worlds reversed, Woman of Worlds reversed, Six of Worlds, a lot of Earth energy, Nine of Wands, Ace of Cups. You've got 3 aces now in the reading. Seven of Crystals, Seven of Wands reversed, Man of Wands upright, Six of Cups reversed, Child of Worlds reversed, and Eight of Worlds. So a lot of Earth energy in this reading. So I feel like the overall message from your guides through the Voyager deck is that there is a lot of work to be done here on a karmic and energetic level in order for you to have a greater experience on Earth. It's about having the opportunity to increase your sense of well-being in the physical realm. So doing this work on the emotional levels, on this sort of karmic and spiritual levels, is actually just designed by you actually to increase your sense of well-being and increase your sense of joy and fulfillment on a day-to-day basis in the mundane things that we do. And realizing that those lofty goals of like occult studying and understanding all the depths of everything, it's actually, the point of it is to have a better experiences here and on Earth in the day-to-day mundane experiences. So let's break it down by each card by card. As I said, at the center of the reading you have Ten of Cups, and that card came out here in the previous reading. What I'm seeing this as in this reading here with it being crossed by the Ace of Crystals is that, again, the Ace of Crystals is actually reversed as the crossing card. So what this says to me, and you have the Five of Worlds at reverse at the foundation and the Ace of Worlds at the crowning card also in reverse. As I said, there's a lot of Worlds cards here. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 Worlds cards. So there's a huge emphasis on the physical realm, on the earthly realm, on the earthly element. So as I said, at the center of the reading with the Ten of Cups upright with the Ace of Crystals crossing, it just says to me that the overall theme or the focus for you on this time period with these issues is about how to make your life on Earth, your earthly experience, just feel more fulfilling in the simple things, in the mundane things, in the day-to-day things, because that's where it is. I mean, it's when you get a grip on the day-to-day rituals and routines, that's when you're really getting a hold on like the purpose, you have a much greater opportunity to reach a sense of fulfillment and deep joy in life if you can manage to lock down certain daily habits and practices that are just really mundane and boring and necessary, but actually doing those things with a sense of routinely kind of disciplined, purposeful. It's just about self-love, isn't it? Really, like when you do that, when you do your daily rituals every day and you take care of your personal needs, when you exercise and meditate and eat well and have, battery ran out there. So as I was saying, if you can manage to lock down those kind of daily habits and ritual practices where you're actually just affirming to yourself care and love and nurturing, and it helps keep you in a state of balance and keeps your frequency at a sort of level that's like uplifted, it enables you to have a much greater sense of connectedness to yourself, to life, to other people, and your interactions become more joyful and more fun and more uplifted. So yeah, here I was talking about the seven of crystals and the 6 of cups in reverse. These cards are in the position of your hopes and fears. So this is saying to me that you are starting to become more willing to address places where you've allowed yourself to let it get a little bit stagnant in the mind, and let yourself kind of have these sort of less refined types of reactions and interactions with people, because you start to kind of like just excuse them, just sort of make it okay for whatever reason. And so, allowing yourself to acknowledge that perhaps a lot of what you're feeling with your frustration and impatience in life, and like not feeling like you're getting the most out of everything, every opportunity, as far as, there's a sort of sense of emotional lack of fulfillment, and that's kind of holding you back. It's saying to me here that you are starting to be willing now to look at these things just for your own sense of well-being. You're actually willing now to sort of look at yourself in ways that you maybe haven't for a little while, to address certain things where you have been allowing yourself to kind of get away with certain things, and you're starting to see how you need to be a lot more disciplined and focused on these things every day to kind of keep yourself pushing forward with your personal development, with your relationships with people, and just in general your sense of well-being. So the outcome cards here, you have 7 of Wands reverse and the Man of Wands. So that's kind of cool. In this previous reading, you had the 7 of Wands as the crowning card there. And I was talking about how this is like kind of you being defensive and reactionary towards people. And seeing it come out here in the second reading in the reverse position is really, I see this as a really positive thing. I see this as you addressing these issues of defensiveness, of impatience and frustration and irritability. And you're looking at how it is that you're actually generating these things from within. And it's not about anything that happens externally to you. And seeing it come up here and reversing this in the higher octave reading is a really beautiful thing. I think it says to me that you're starting to take responsibility, and that's extremely powerful and very, very beautiful, because we have to be responsible for everything that we experience. And Man of Wands there in the outcome position with it. So in the previous reading, you had, as in the extended cards, the Queen of Wands as one of the outcome cards as the additional messages, and in this reading you have the Man of Wands, which is sort of the king of Wands, the masculine counterpart. So I like that. I see these two cards together from these two readings kind of coming together to say that, again, in the first reading I was talking about addressing issues of imbalance in the masculine and feminine. So I'm seeing that you are looking at these things this month and coming to some type of resolution with those, and by addressing those things, you're starting to actually be able to then bring them into balance. The other outcome card here is the 6 of Worlds. So these 3 cards here combine together to create your outcome. Now the 6 of Worlds is the one there with the swan and all the planets in it. Again, I'm seeing the planetary the effects of the planets on everybody this month having a really kind of challenging but beneficial effect. Like this 6 of Worlds cards, it's called synergy in this deck. So that's what I'm seeing as the possibility, like the potential for your outcome with all this energy that you're dealing with this month is that you're just going to feel a greater connection to your loved ones, to the people around you, to the wider world, in a way that you might not have for a while, because you've been so stuck in your own head and stuck in your own irritability and impatience with how things were flowing for you or not flowing for you through a lot of this year. And I think coming into the later part of this year, you're starting to feel a little bit of liberation from that, because you're putting the work in to address how it is that you are directing your energy out into the world, and that's actually what you're getting back. So really powerful, a lot of opportunity here this month for you to overcome a lot. I want to look at the bottom of the deck, see what's there. Child of Wands reversed, 10 of Wands reversed, Child of Crystals reversed, and Woman of Crystals reversed. Okay, what do we have here? I think that, again, the 10 of Wands, I don't know if you had that in the previous reading. I feel like no. 10 of Wands is from the Rider-Waite deck, that really very vivid card showing someone carrying a bundle of sticks over their shoulder, and it's not sustainable, obviously. So the Ten of Wands in this deck is called growth, and having it here in the reverse position just says to me that you are actually addressing all these things that we've been talking about, and you're willing to just drop that. You drop all the defensiveness and a lot of the reactionary, kind of impatient, frustrated behavior and energy that you're putting out in order to kind of just generally feel better and have a better experience in life through the, the feedback loop that you're creating with life. Child of Wands here in reverse. I think this is it's just again like these two cards here are kind of saying to me that you do need to really make sure that you are not letting yourself get away with these kinds of immature behavior, and actually address and own the responsibility of the energy that you're putting out, and understand that that's what you're experiencing is actually exactly what you're putting out. So if you can address that and come back internally and make an adjustment. And then you have the Child of Crystals reversed and the Woman of Crystals are reversed. So in the previous reading, you had this Queen of Swords here upright at the end of the reading. This Woman of Crystals is the same energy in this deck, but here she's in reverse. So I think this is just a warning to kind of, or just a reminder to say, like, stay focused, stay on task, really put the effort in and the work in this month. Don't give up, and just keep being honest. Keep being radically honest with yourself, most of all, but with people around you. Like if there is some issues that need to be resolved with other individuals, mostly this month what I've been talking about and what I've been seeing is just your own energy field, your own sense of well-being. But of course, like if you are putting out this energy, then maybe there's some things that you need to resolve with people around you. And this is just, for me, a final gentle reminder that you need to make sure that you're constantly being honest and you're constantly checking yourself and making sure that you're not giving any little white lies away that kind of gives you a free pass to get off of the hook of any type of responsibility that you actually need to own, so that you can really clear the way, clear the karma, free up a lot of the baggage from the past, and actually come into the next year, the later part of this year, freed up from a lot of old emotional baggage that's kind of been inhibiting you in some ways. Okay, Leo, that's your reading for November. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing. It means a lot to have you be a part of the community. And also, don't forget to watch your ascendant and moon sign as well as your sun to get a full snapshot of what's going on, the energies that are working with you at the moment. You could also look at your Venus placement if you know where that is in your natal chart, and that will give you more also as well if you're looking for insight into relationships and into love, and also into money, because Venus rules money. Watch it again. There's a lot of information there. And as the month progresses, give it a couple of weeks, and maybe you'll want to play it through again, because you'll find that as events unfold, different parts of the reading will become more relevant and will stand out more to you. So do give it another playthrough, midway through the month, to just get more reminders, because there's a lot of messages there, a lot of information, a lot of energy came through. I really hope you found that helpful. I appreciate you sharing this space with me. It really means a lot. And I'll see you next month.